Next, we're going to talk about the cost of home ownership, which is very similar to the cost of a car ownership, except there's some other definitions and some added steps you might have to take. So let's go through some of the definitions. A mortgage is a long-term loan for the purpose of buying a home and for which the property is pledged as security for the payment. So if you stop paying on your loan, then the bank's going to come and take your home. Okay, that's what a mortgage is. A down payment is the portion of the sale of the home that the buyer pays at the time of purchase. So this doesn't actually get rolled into the amount of the loan. This is just paid up front and subtracted off the cost of the home, and then the rest of that is going to be financed. A fixed rate mortgage. Fixed rate mortgages have the same monthly payment. And sometimes that's called PMI, principal and interest, during the entire time of the loan. So in the beginning of your loan, because your loan is really large at the time, you're going to be paying a whole lot more of your payment in interest and less on principal. Eventually, near the end of the loan, you're not going to be paying very much in interest, but you're going to be paying a whole lot more in principal. But throughout the whole length of the loan, you're still going to have the same exact monthly payment. They kind of spread it out that way. A variable rate mortgage or an adjustable rate mortgage have payments that change from time to time, depending on the changes on the interest rate. Okay, we're not going to be discussing calculating any variable rate mortgages because that all depends on the time of the interest rate at the time. So we're going to be focusing mostly on fixed rate mortgages, but I wanted you to know the difference in case you go buy a home, what the difference is. A point is a one-time charge that equals 1% of the amount of the mortgage loan. Again, you're going to just go ahead and pay that up front for all of the services you get for creating the mortgage and the escrow. So the escrow account is lending institutions may require monthly deposits into an escrow account, and then that escrow account is used by the lender to pay the real estate taxes and insurance. Usually taxes and insurance are collected once a year, but you pay every month into the escrow account, and that's usually put into your monthly payment, so that at the time that those real estate taxes and insurances are due, that there's enough money in the account to pay for it. So the loan payment formula, I want you to note that this is the same formula as the car loan. Okay, exactly the same formula to calculate the payments. And the interest for the fixed installment loans is very similar to the car. The interest equals the payment times the number of payments per year times time minus the amount of the loan, which can reduce to this last formula. So let's do another example. We have a home that we're going to have finance $175,000. You can choose a mortgage financed with a 30-year fixed rate at 7.5%. So if we're talking about choices, this is our first choice right here. Or we could choose a 15-year loan at a 7.5% rate. Now notice that the rates are the same, but one's at a 30-year and one's at a 15-year. So the 15-year payments are going to be clearly higher. The 30-year payments are going to be considerably lower, but the interesting thing is to note how much difference it is in the interest in the loan. So part A says find the monthly payment and interest financed with a 30-year loan at a 7.5% interest rate. So let's see what we can do there. We have PMT, P, R, N, and T. I'm not sure what the monthly payment is. I'm financing $175,000. my rate is going to be 7.5%, and N is going to be monthly payments, so that's going to be 12, and time for this particular one, we're talking 30 years. So I'm going to use that same formula that I used above. So we have PMT equals P, which is 175,000, parentheses 0.075 divided by 12 divided by bracket 1 minus parentheses 1 plus 0.075 divided by 12 raised to the negative 12 times 30, then close that bracket. The extra set of parentheses that I need to add are around the top. The bottom already has one, and then around the exponents. So now I'm going to try to calculate this. Start with my parentheses, 175,000, parentheses 0.075 divided by 12. Close my parentheses twice. Divided by, open the parentheses, 1 minus, open another parentheses, 1 plus 0.075 divided by 12. Close that parentheses, caret, raised to the exponent, open a parentheses, negative 12 times 30. Close that parentheses, and then one last parentheses for the bracket. This gets me a payment of $1,223.63. We're going to round that up to 63 cents. Excellent. Now we're going to find our interest. So we have the payment times N times T minus the original amount of the loan. So we have 1223.63 multiplied by 12 times 30, because that's how many payments you're going to pay over the 30 years. Subtract the 175,000. So I'm going to type that in, 1223.63. I missed my point. Let's go back and fix that. 0.63 times 12 times 30, and that's how much you're going to pay on the loan, minus the amount that you owed anyway. And this turns out to be $265,506.80 in interest. Remember, the loan was only for $175,000, so you're actually paying almost double of what you really owed just in interest. That means it's like almost 3 times as much of as the house is worth you're going to pay for, because you don't have the money up front, which is just how interest goes. Let's do this again, but this time is for 15 years. So we kind of have some similar values, except the time is different. So P is still 175,000. Rate is still 0.075. My N is still 12, but this time my T is 15 and not 30. So I'm going to use the same payment formula. So when you are typing these in the calculator, please just don't watch me do it. I want you to actually try it in your calculator. I don't want the first time you're doing these to be on your homework or the test. I want you to be able to get the right answers with me. If not, you can always email me. So we're going to start with a parentheses. That I added that blue parentheses, 175,000. Parentheses 0.075 divided by 12. Close your parentheses twice for the numerator. Divided by, in the denominator, open up a parentheses, 1 minus, open up another parentheses, 1 plus 0.075 divided by 12. Close that parentheses. Caret, parentheses, negative 12 times 15. Close that parentheses, and then close the last set of parentheses. When we hit enter, that turns out that we have a payment of $16.22 and 27 cents. Okay, so that's a whole lot more per month, but let's see what happens to the interest. So that's 1622.27 times 12 times the years times 15 minus the original amount of my loan. No extra parentheses needed here. And the interest turns out to be $117,008.60. So let's compare these numbers. For the 30-year loan, we have a monthly payment of $1,223.63, whereas for the 15-year loan, it's $1,622.27. Now the interest is really where it's interesting here. The interest for a 30-year loan is $265,506.80, whereas for the 15-year loan it's only $117,000. Notice it's still a lot of money in interest, either way you look at it, but it's more than double the interest if you choose the 30-year loan over the 15-year loan. So clearly, if you can hack the monthly payment of $16.22, then I would highly recommend you doing the 15-year loan. It's going to save you a whole lot of money in the long run, although you need to make sure you can pay that every month. Otherwise, because you pledged your property as security for the payment, they might take away your home entirely. So you have to balance the monthly payments versus the total interest, but you should probably have all the information before you make your decisions.